कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, अरे कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो। साहब मिले सबूरी में, अरे साहब मिले सबूरी में, मन लागो यार फकीरी में, मन लागो।
It says, sometimes even when he perceives duality in the ordinary course of life, he does not really perceive it as different from the ever conscious Atman, for consciousness runs in and through all. This is from Adi Shankar, Shankaracharya. Sometimes, even when he perceives duality in the ordinary course of life, he does not really perceive it as different from the ever conscious Atman, for consciousness runs in and through all. Perceptions would always be dualistic. All perceptions involve a perceiver. All perceptions require someone who is claiming that he is perceiving and is hence different from the object that he is perceiving. Hence all perceptions have to have a separation between the object that the perceiver is looking at and the perceiver himself. There is bound to be a duality. However, there is something that sees the object, and then there is also something that sees both the subject and the object together. Ordinarily, when you are looking at a tree, you are looking just at the tree. There is the object. And the incomplete ego sense, which is the subject, is now looking at the object with a sense of anticipation. It is feeling that the tree may provide something essential to it, something fundamental to it, that may not come to the ego as a conscious thought, but that is the fundamental of duality. The subject is the subject because he feels incomplete, and in every object he searches for a sense of completion. So whenever you look at something, the whole interlinked domain of this whole net of name, form, meaning, and along with that, memories, expectations, hopes, fears, everything rises immediately. The moment you say, I am a subject looking at an object called the tree, do you see that the whole inner system has been already triggered by just the name tree? You may say that you are a detached perceiver. But did you not just call the object of perception by a particular name? From where did that name come? So even though you may consciously not plan to trigger your whole inner mechanism, but it does get triggered. Consciously you have played no role in that triggering, but it has happened. Also, even if you look at something that you are unable to name, at least you see a form, a figure, a color, and that form, figure and color will again activate the whole inner mechanism because it will be related to memory, experience. Do you see this? The moment you name something, it gets related to the past. And when the past is activated, it comes with all its connotations, all its meanings and memories, and hence with all its force. Including the future. Right? That is how perception operates. You see all this happening upon you by way of experience. You experience that all of this is now happening to you. The subject looks at an object and the object activates something which now becomes an experience for the subject. You may experience fear upon looking at a tree, or hope, or pleasure, delight. Right? So the state of the subject immediately changes. What is incomplete is bound to change. The subject keeps on changing with the object of perception. That is what experience does to the subject. The experiencer is in some way a slave of the experience because he is a slave of the object that he experiences.
So why subject is incomplete?
Because that is how he is. If you are asking me why he is incomplete, I will say he is not incomplete at all. But that's his own fantasy. I am incomplete and I need completion. His own personal fairy tale. Ordinarily we live in this kind of perception. But it is possible to live a little differently. It is possible that even as the subject looks at the object and the effect of the object changes the subject, there is something that does not change. There is something that knows that all this change and the whole game is being played out, and yet is not really a part of the game. Do you see this? Then even in the middle of duality, you have something that is non-dual. That does not mean that the game of duality will stop. That does not mean that the object will cease to impact the subject. The subject would still be impacted, maybe a little differently, maybe a little more calmly, maybe with reduced intensity, but there would still be an impact. The eyes are there, the brain is there, the whole load of accumulated memories and conditioning is there. So the game will be played out. It is quite mechanical. It doesn't matter whether sodium is lying on a table or it is in the hands of a Buddha. If water falls on it, there would be an explosion. It is quite pre-programmed. This is also material, chemicals, mechanics. But even if the sodium explodes on coming in contact with water, the Buddha does not explode along with sodium. Are you getting it? He retains his Buddhahood. Yes, his body may be impacted, his hand may be hurt, but all of this has no impact upon his Buddha nature. Do you see this? That is to be in a non-dual state in the middle of duality. Sodium and water are playing their mutual game. The eyes and the tree are playing their ancient game. And I am what I am. Neither the tree nor the eyes, neither water nor sodium.
Is it also a question of attention, to bring back the attention to the Buddha nature?
Attention is a wonderful thing. You can be attentive really only to the truth. Attention means devotion. To attend to something means that you are fully present to it. That is just another name for devotion. Are you getting it? So one can be attentive only to the truth. What is the impact of this devotion upon the quality of your observation? Let's find out. When you are in attention, devoted only to the truth, then whatever you look at it with the remembrance that you are already with the truth, and hence whatever you are looking at is not needed to become a substitute for the truth. To be in attention means to be with that which you always want. So you are fulfilled. You are fulfilled. When you are fulfilled, would you look around in desperation with hungry eyes? So now when you can observe free of expectations because you are not hungry. Do you see this? When you are in attention, then your observation has a certain genuineness, a certain authenticity. It is honest, it is not biased. Because whatever you are now observing, you can observe without attachment, without expectations. You see, I am thirsty, and all of you are sitting there enjoying water, enjoying juices. It will become difficult for me to just look at you. I will want something. My perception will become biased. Whereas if my thirst is quenched, if I am all right within myself, if I am already with that which I can at the maximum desire, then I do not mind what you are drinking. I do not expect that. I do not form an opinion of you based on all that. So now my observation can be smooth. Are you getting this? So only when you are in the non-dual Atman, can you look at the world without attachment, without expectations? Because now you are with that which gives you peace and fulfillment. You are already contented. So when you are looking at the world, you are not expecting that the object, the world, will come to fulfill you. Are you getting this? So now you can observe, and your observation will be truthful. It will not be a snare for you. You will not be trapped and enslaved. The whole game of memories, hopes, fear will not become too much upon you. It will still be played out, remember. But it will not dominate you. It will be played out in front of you, not all over you. There are firecrackers. They are a delight to watch if they are bursting and lighting in front of you. The bomb explodes at a distance of a few meters from you and you clap. Yes? But when all that starts happening all over you, then it is tragic. Then you need an ambulance. So it will still happen, but at a distance from you. Now it is something to be delighted in. Or if you don't want to use the word delight, now it is something that you can fully perceive. Not just partially, because you are at a distance, so you can look at the complete picture. Are you getting this? So, we started with the verse from Adi Shankar. He talked of the relation between being with the Atman, in the Atman, and still looking at the world, being in the world, experiencing the whole dualistic game of the world. And then came this question which talked about attention. Do you see how these two things are parallel?
Yes, both not fulfilled.
Yes,
Unfulfilled.
yes. The verse from Shankar and the question from our friend, how they are exactly parallel. And that also enabled us to look closely at attention. Attention is not about concentrating on an object. Attention is not about being fully committed to one particular thing or whatever. Attention is something mystical. Attention is a thing of the heart. Attention is about keeping your ego surrendered. Attention is about bowing down your head in front of the infinite. That is attention. Quite often the word has been misused. In common language, in worldly language, they use attention and concentration almost interchangeably. Let them use it. It is probably proper for them. But in the real sense, in the spiritual sense, there is a vast difference, a dimensional difference between attention and concentration. Attention is an inner quality. My mind is not arrogant. My mind attends to the truth. My mind is committed not to any particular thing but to the truth inside, behind, and at the foundation of the thing. That is attention. I will be with the truth at any cost. That is attention. And in that attention, all that you do has the touch of an inner perfection. Remember, outwardly nothing can ever be perfect. Outwardly nothing can ever be perfect, precisely because perfection is not something of the outside. Attention is to be with the perfection within. And then whatever you do has a special quality to it, including your observation, including all your actions. Are you getting it? So you observe the tree, and the tree has all the meanings, all the forms and memories and the rest of it. And the game does play out. The reaction does happen. But that reaction ceases to wound you or even please you. And even if it does wound you, the wound causes no hurt. You are the one now who cannot be hurt, who cannot be diminished. Do you getting this? What does this mean? Is this a recipe for shunning, renouncing the world? No. Let's see what happens in our usual dualistic observation. In usual dualistic observation or perception, you favor a particular kind of object, a particular observation, a particular perception, and you disfavor its opposite. Doesn't that happen? If you like a particular experience, you want it to be repeated. What you dislike, you avoid it. You like one kind of a tree, you go to it again and again. It evokes pleasurable memories. You dislike another kind of tree, you hack it down. You don't want to look at it. So you are not open to experience, mind you. Your experience has now become segmented. Only certain types of experiences are welcome, others are crossed out. And even those that you welcome You are unable to live fully in them because you already have an image of how that experience should be. So there are two trees. To one, I don't go, so I am never able to perceive it, observe it, experience it. Because it is a tree that gave me pain in the past, I refuse to go to it even now. And there is another tree that gave pleasure to you. It is simplistic, but take the example. And there is another tree that gave pleasure to you, so you go to it again and again. Are you able to really experience even this tree?
No.
Even this tree you cannot experience because you already know too much about it. You already have an idea of what this tree should be like. There is the man next door whom you have labeled as your enemy and you totally avoid him. Will you ever be able to know him? Yes? And there is the man in your house you have labeled as your husband. Will you ever be able to know him? You may go to this man again and again every day, but will you ever be able to know him? That is what the game of dualistic observation does. You are able to experience nothing. It is quite amusing because conventionally all the materialists have said that we are materialists, we want to enjoy the material. And they have accused that spirituality abhors experience. The fact is quite the opposite. Only the spiritual man can really experience pleasure and pain day and night, because experience does not hurt him. Because experience means so little to him, so only he can be fully open to experience. The worldly man will be so terrified of experience or so enamored with experience that he will never be able to experience. So even to really experience the world, to go close to it, to participate in all the delights, in all that the world has to offer, the highs and the lows, the lefts and the rights, the men and the women, even to really be with them, even to really, as you say, enjoy them, you must be firstly devoted to the truth. You must be firstly a spiritual man. You can never delight in the world if you are firstly not committed, surrendered to the one beyond the world. Are you getting this? So is spirituality about renouncing the world? No. The ones who have really renounced the world are the ones who want to just live in the world. They are the real renouncers. We must go to them and ask them, why are you not able to participate in this great game? Why are you hiding in your houses? There are so many beautiful men and women in this world. Why are you hiding with your family? Why are you not able to experience all the delights that the trees, the mountains, the rivers, the kids, the animals, the stars, all the men and women have to offer? Why are you not able to experience them? There is this beautiful woman next door. Why are you not able to talk to her? Oh, because you are a husband. Too bad for you. They are the world renouncers. They are the ones who participate in nothing. That party continues, the dance is on. They are the ones who cannot tap to its tunes. The spiritual man you will never find as missing from the party. He will be the soul of the party. Because the party means so little to him. When the party means so little to you, then you can dance with abandon all night. You are not there in the party to enhance your self-esteem. You are not there in the party to fulfill some objective. You are not there in the party to network, to please someone, or to get some good food. You are there in the party just because there is always a party on somewhere, everywhere. So one has to be in the party. Where else can one be? It is to these consumerists that we must ask, why are you able to consume so little? You want to drink, we find that you are never able to have anything beyond a few drops. You want to consume, we find that in spite of all your consumption, you are always hungry. You want to experience, we see that mostly you are running away from experience. You want to know the world and travel. We see that you do not know even your own backyard. You talk of global causes. We see that you do not know even your own mind. You talk of dousing the flames in some faraway forest. We see that your own relationships are all afire, and you do not know how to put off that fire. Why? Why? The worldly one, why are you living this way? You look so much like a beggar. But you run away from spirituality, saying that if I become spiritual, then spirituality will impose conditions upon me and prevent me from experiencing the world. Hello, prevent you from what? Prevent you from an experience that you are anyway not having? That's the typical argument, you know. If you read the scriptures, if you talk wisely,
then I will not be able
if you are in meditation, then immediately your parents, your neighbors, your uncles and aunts, your kids and your wife, they are terrified. Oh, now he will renounce the world. Ask them, with you, was he ever in the world? Was he ever with you in the first place? You fear that your relationship will be broken if he turns spiritual. Was there a relationship ever? And if there is a relationship, will it be afraid that the truth will break that relationship? Is a truthful relationship ever afraid of the truth itself? Keep in mind, if you find something or someone afraid of the truth, for sure that person is living in the false. Are you getting this? I know consuming is not quite a proper word, but just for the sake of effect, I will say it is the spiritual one who really consumes the world. Really. In Sanskrit, there is an adage, Veer Bhogya Vasundhara. Only the fearless ones are able to enter into bhog in this world. Not all the bhogvadis. The consumerists, the bhogvadis, they consume in order to take care of their fear. They are afraid, so they consume. They are incomplete, so they consume. The spiritual one consumes in fulfillment, in fearlessness. Veer Bhogya Vasundhara. Even when consumption, experience, that great worldly drama is going on, he is still firm in his fearlessness. Neither is he afraid, nor is he indulgent. He's not afraid to come close. And at the same time, when he comes close, he does not indulge. He is very, very close, yet never stained. Why is he never stained? Because firstly, he is close to the truth. So even when he is close to all the objects in the world, he firstly remains close to the truth. And that gives him the freedom, the license to be close to anything or even be away from anything. Now he can fully indulge in his likes and dislikes. Are you getting this?
So it is irony that if you are unfulfilled, you will never get fulfilled.
Wonderful.
If you feel that if you are unfulfilled.
You search as the unfulfilled one and you remain the unfulfilled searcher. Yes?
So the tragedy with that we call those people happen because they leave the hand of truth. That is, they leave the hand that I am fulfilled.
Even when you come across disparate terms, remember that all of it is essentially just about the truth. Being with the truth, being in love with the truth, being surrendered to the truth, being the truth itself. So do not be lost in jargon, because different authors in different contexts use very different kinds of expressions. All of that can become a mess in the head. It is all just about that and nothing else. It is so simple.